Okay, hello. It's Mark Attwood, Adventures in a Meat Suit. Today, I'm joined by the wonderful Vineet Bhatia, right?
Correct.
Who I've known for what, 7 years?
Number of years we've been on and off in contact.
Yeah. So today you've got something quite interesting for us, haven't you?
Yeah. So let me explain, right? So I'm the founder and the creator of a business philosophy called natural business, right? And let me explain what it is before we dive into it, into the nitty gritty. So one of the problems that people have, right? People that are in business or they want to grow their own business, right? The most common question that gets asked is, how do I grow my business, right? That's a generic question everyone asks it, right? Which is understandable, right? And then what they do is, the next thing they do, they go, oh, I need to grow my own business. I don't know. I'm not the expert. It's not me. It's not me. I don't have it in here. I don't have the answers. So what they do next is they outsource it, right? They look for external expertise, right? And that's totally cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But when I explain where it comes from, you'll get it. Well, most people do. They go, okay, so I need external experts, right? And I need their strategies, and I need their blueprints, and I need their formulas, right? But I want to point something out. The most successful people in the world, the thing that they credit the most is their own intuition, their own instinct, their own sense of direction, right? They have an internal compass, and they're, whether they realize it or not, they're very connected to it. So what most people do is they outsource, right? I need an expert and I need their strategies. But then what happens often, not always, is sometimes those strategies by the experts don't always work, right? And then you need to ask, why is that? And when they don't work, and I'm not saying that they don't all work, sometimes they do work. And when they don't work because those strategies are not always true to the person that's applying them to their own business. It's not in alignment to their personality, to their natural talents, their gifts. So it's like, sometimes a strategy that is incorrect is a bit like putting a fish on land. It just don't work, right? So instead, what's the solution? And this was my problem, right? I've been in business for 11 years now, right? And the times where I screwed things up, where I wasn't successful, I now look back and I get it. It's because I was outsourcing to experts out of a place of dysfunction within myself. And what do I mean by dysfunction? I mean, I didn't trust my own instinct. I felt insecure about doing it my way. I wasn't trusting my intuition. It's a bit like this. This is how I explain it. And this is in the PDF that I sent you. An acorn has the creative intelligence within it to become an oak tree, right? Everything in nature inherently has the capability to become what it is destined to become, right? An acorn doesn't go, you know what? Let me get the expert next door. Let me get the cedar tree. The cedar tree will show me how to do this. It doesn't. In the acorn is nature. It's natural. So we have this natural blueprint to become the oak tree. So natural business philosophy, which I've created, or you can say nature created actually. Well, it wasn't me. Nature created it, right? Is about tapping into one's creative intelligence. And we all have it. And creativity doesn't mean art only. It's everything in life is creative. A to Z, everything's creative, right? So tapping into your creative intelligence then allows you to be able to coax out of oneself. And there's a process to it that I teach, etc. There's a way to find strategies that are in alignment to oneself, right? So that you are fish in the water and not fish on land, okay? When you find those strategies that are true to oneself, and I'll give you an example here, right? I'm natural people person. Like I'm a natural people person. I get along with anyone. I get people. That's my strength, right? So for me, I just reach out to people and I just connect. I'm just good, old school human connection, right? Win-win situations. That's what I create. And out of those win-win situations, there's never a problem in getting clients, but I serve. My way of doing is I serve humanity first. I don't go, oh, what can I get out of this? That's my strategy, is that I want to genuinely help human beings. And then out of that, people go, oh, shit, he actually gives a shit. And he actually knows what he's talking about. He's good. So they hire me, right? That's my strategy. It's true to myself. What's your design, right? We need to figure out what's your design. When you got your design, bingo, we got success, we can have it. All right. So that's basically the insight into natural business. So Mark, what I'm going to do today, I'm gonna show the viewers, the people that are watching, and you yourself, I'm going to show you the power of natural business, okay? Because there's no point of just talking about it. Let's actually tap into it. Let's see what we can come of it, okay? Now there are many processes and exercises we can do to tap into natural business, but the one we're going to do today that comes to me intuitively is, for all the viewers at home, I'm all about service, right? So I want to serve Mark today, all right? He's the being that I'm going to serve. So I said to Mark, I said, Mark, look, I want to be of service to you. So the what I'm going to do, I'm going to tap into, and I'm going to show you how to do it as well. I'm going to tap into, so what we have is, in life, we have two aspects of ourselves. We have an ego, right? And an ego is formed out of our experiences as kids, right? And then that ego, it's not a bad thing. The ego is not a bad thing, but it's a limitation of who we are, right? It's not the full version of who we are. It's a limited perception. But that ego can help us, but it can only take us so far. So we're going to tap into, Mark, we're going to tap into your ego and see what is the cap you put on yourself in some shape or form. Then the second thing we're going to do, after we've done that intuitive tap in, that natural reading, and everyone has the capability of intuition, right? I've just been honing it for about 10 years. Okay, that's the only difference. The other side, we're going to do what I refer to as, we're going to tap into your genius, your business gift, shall we say, who you truly are. What is your true gift? Now, it seems like you're aware of a lot of your gifts, and you're aware of your ego, right? You're a conscious man. You've probably done some introspection, right? So you're aware of it. But some people are not aware of it whatsoever. They're sleeping through life, and then they wonder, oh, that's happened to my life. So, are you ready?
No, not yet. Not yet, because this is going up on a channel where most of the people watching this have no idea about my background or business career or anything. So there's a number of things that come up before we go into the actual session, and that is, I loved your introduction. It also reminded me of a great argument against genetically modified organisms, which I'm greatly against. I'm very much aligned with that concept of natural business and finding that alignment. As somebody that has been in business for, I don't know, 30 years, and I had a lot of highs and a lot of lows. I've spent the last 10 years being one of those people that gets outsourced to for strategy. In fact, for people watching this, I'll just grab something. These just happen to be on the shelf. Technophone's Guide to Internet Marketing Success, 2014, and that's a book I brought out a few years ago, which is all about strategy. And I've found, since I started teaching business, I don't know, 12 years ago, teaching marketing specifically, I get lots of people saying, right, you've got all the answers, here you go. And then you go back and you say, okay, well, basically it's the same strategy every time. Effectively, because, but basically this book solves every digital marketing problem there is. But then you have the problem of somebody going, yeah, it sounds great. And then they only do the things that they like doing. And this, what you said about employing third parties is exactly the same as employing staff. Because if you hire out of desperation, you've got a major problem with whoever you hire. Because and it's a bit like being in a relationship. You project your perfect version of that person onto them, and you make them fit it. And then 3 months later, you're firing them or you're breaking up with them. So, and it's very similar. So I agree with all of that, which is, if I have any clients that I work with in business now as a digital marketing strategist or, digital marketing agency, I'm very, very picky. So the business is not as financially successful as it could be because I'm not really interested in money. So this is all of the, and this has come out of, ask me the same thing 10 years ago, I'd have been like, no, it's all about the money. It's all about the money. And you look at people doing MBAs, all they learn about is profit. They look at, there's nothing taught about the consequences of that. The people are irrelevant. The corporations are corpserations. They're dead bodies anyway. The people that work for them are dead and soul dead, brain dead.
I like that term.
And, you know, so that's why I wanted to do this on the channel, because Adventures in a Meat Suit for me is all about exposing and, you know, being personal. I'm not afraid. I'm saying I'm not afraid. It depends what you say to me. Not go up on the channel.
Yeah.
But
you know something which I would add to what you just said, right? Is actually, I would argue, right? You can become ethically more profitable.
Yeah.
If you wish to, when you are in a state of natural business to your true nature, you can become more. That's been my experience of it, right?
Yeah.
So when I go out and I get on a call with a potential business client, right? And I'm like, let me sign him up, right? That client don't sign up with me. It doesn't work for me. That just doesn't work. When I'm truly in a state of how can we both benefit from this? And how can I genuinely, you know, he or she is a human being, right? How can I do that? I tell you, money just shows up. It really does.
Money flows. Money flows. When you're doing things that you love and you're in the flow, it flows. But there's another reason why I wanted to put this up on this channel, because this channel is about spiritual growth. It's about what's going on in the world. It's about inspirational thinking about the future. And one of the reasons why I think it's really important, Vineet, is because there's a rethinking of all of our systems coming. We're in the middle of it now, actually, right? Correct. If Jasara and Nasara is true, and I believe it is, I don't know if you know about Jasara.
Yeah, I do.
So even if it's not 100% true, the way it certainly looks like we're definitely going through massive change. I mean, the bad guys are calling it the Great Reset, and the Great Reset actually means getting rid of 90% of the world's population and having a one world currency and all that new world order bollocks, which we are changing with our own manifesting abilities and vibrational frequencies. But so if that's not going to happen, and it isn't, because if it was, I wouldn't even be bothering doing this channel. I'd just be gone. Yeah. So the good guys, for want of a better term, they win. We have a new system. We have a new financial system, gold-backed money. We have we get rid of all the middlemen. We get rid of the banking system. Pretty much the whole financial market's gone. Usury will be gone. Debts will be written off. The countries that have been raped over the last 100 and 200 years will be rich, and we'll have loads of new technology, and we'll have to rethink everything from how we organize our food supply, how we look after the planet, how we interact with each other, how we work on a communal basis, how we deal with energy and all those other basic necessities. And then we're going to be freed up as a race, I believe, to then, okay, I don't need to rob anybody. I don't need to go hungry. Okay, then you start getting creative. Then we start, well, we're still going to need people to organize things. So I think this is very timely that you've been hit with this calling, because I know that you've been on this road for a number of years, and this is where you are now, and you're trusting your guides and your intuition to come to this point. I think you said to me before this call that you keep getting guided to talk to me anyway. Yeah, I mean, I remember the first time I came across you, and my intuition was like, you two are going to work together for a number of years. I've always known that. But I was like, but you just allow certain things to drop into place when it's the right moment, right? Yeah, well, that's why I thought it was important to share that, because that's exactly how it works. Yeah. And once you trust that, it's good. So I think that's explained. You've explained what you're trying to do. I've explained why I think that's important for people to listen to this, even if they're not in business, because this is not, business is really the business of life to me. Because what's a business do? It solves problems. Yep. And if it doesn't solve problems, it doesn't work. Yep. And it serves people. And if it doesn't serve people, it doesn't work. So great, I'm ready. Okay, cool. So just a little precursor. So for the people that are watching, so they get this. First of all, is that everyone is intuitive. Okay, so natural means to be one with our true nature, right? And a little fact I want to share with people at home, and which obviously Mamaka, I'm assuming you know it, but with anyone that doesn't know it, is that our brain, we have, I think it's billions of bits of information coming at it per second or whatever it is, right? I don't know the exact figure, but it's a lot, right? It's a lot, yeah. But actually, we only process or take in and are aware of a very tiny
percentage of that. I think it's something like 2,000 bits or 20,000 bits. Is ridiculous, right? So there is information available, right? This information, nature has given us access to lots of information, but because of convenience and because of survival, we are conditioned to only be aware of a small segment of information, okay? And that information comes through all senses. So intuition, or our true nature, is to expand our ability to receive more information, right? Beyond our conditioned, narrow self, such as people say that this is the truth. And I go, no, that's not the truth. That's your perception of the truth, right? The truth is a whole spectrum of information. Your perception of truth is a narrow version, right? So all I've done, I've taught myself, which you can teach any human being, it's a science and it's an art, to expand your perception into more information than our pea brains are normally so conditioned to only take on that much. That's all I've done. This is no hocus pocus bullshit. Don't get scared. This is just me surrendering to what is natural to myself.
Come on, then. Let's
do this. All right, cool. So normally what I would do, so Mark, do you want to do it on yourself as well? Shall I show you how to do it as well?
Or you're running the show. I mean, you tell me.
Cool. All right, cool, fine. So do you have a piece of paper and a pen there?
Yes.
All right, grab a piece of paper and pen.
I was about to say no, but I do actually have one.
Okay, cool. There you go, sorted. All right, so let me first explain the first reading, because I want you to do it, because I want you to also do it on yourself. This is not about me, it's about you, right?
Okay.
So the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna intuitively or naturally, we're gonna look at your ego, how it plays out in business, right? In your calling, in your business, in your life's calling. Okay. So what I want you to do, I want you to draw a circle on the piece of paper, just a small little circle, and I want you to write the word Mark's business ego.
What, inside the circle or outside?
Inside the circle.
It's quite a long. It's going to have to be a big circle.
Whatever size that is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So let me quickly explain it, and then I'll take you Then I'll take you into an altered state of consciousness, so you can access that information.
What, we're going to take mushrooms?
I'm going to send them across the internet. There you go, mate.
Just pop them through that hole there.
That's it. You know, the tech is coming.
Mushrooms are the future. Mushrooms are the future.
Yeah. Okay, so quickly, let me go through it. Step number one, what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask you to set an intention. Okay, and that's going to be the intention we wrote down. You choose to.
I'm going to ask you about this because, you know, when I first started going to things, spiritual stuff, and people say, set your intention. I was like, well, I don't know. Hope I get through this okay. What time's the bus later? I mean, what, you know, some people say to me, how do you set an intention? What does that mean? Can you be specific?
Yeah, we can. And intention is just focus, right? That's all it is. It's like what you're going to focus on. So if you are focused on, I can never find the salt shaker in the kitchen, you're probably never going to find the salt shaker because you perceive it's not there. But if you say, no, I'm going to find the salt shaker, where's your focus? But all I'm asking you to do is to focus your mind on a particular problem or issue or outcome. That's it.
Well, you know, I'm an optimist, so I always focus on the outcomes. I never focus on problems.
So in this case, I'm asking you, what you're going to do is you're going to have an intention. You're going to have a focus on knowing about your ego and how it plays out in business. Simple as that. Just set the intention. You don't need to know how. You just set the intention. That's it. Step number two, I'm gonna basically get you to surrender to a higher version of yourself, like a part of you that knows all the answers. And then I'm going to take you into an altered state of consciousness, which is called innocence in no sense. Okay, innocence. I'm going to take you into an altered state of consciousness, therefore widening your perceptual filters. Okay, then I'm going to ask you to basically step into that circle in your imagination, which has got that intention. You're going to be shown a symbol or a sign, or something's going to come up. Some information is going to creep through the door that doesn't normally creep through. All right. then all you're going to do, you're just going to write about it. You're just going to go, what becomes obvious to me is, and you're just going to start to write. You're just going to start, and it's going to feel, it's like, I don't know if anyone has ever done automatic writing, right? You don't think about it. You just, it feels like you're making it up because it's a creative act. The creative act is not a thinking act. It's beyond thinking. So you just write it down. Whatever comes through and you're going to write. When you've done that, and it shouldn't take altogether more than a few minutes, then I'm going to do it for you, but I'm going to speak it instead. Why? So it's beneficial for all the people at home as well, because when I do write stuff down, I can't read it. So that doesn't help, all right? So cool. Ready?
Yep.
All right, so close your eyes for a second. And just set the intention that you want to know how your ego in business, just call it ego in business, yeah? Your ego. If you want to keep it simple, ego will do. And just nod your head once you've set the intention you want to know about your ego. Cool. Choose now to be of service to your highest self. Just choose to be of service to yourself. And just nod your head when you've done that. Okay. Now, choose to be specific with the information so that it serves you. And now I'm going to take you into an altered state of consciousness. 1 second, I'm just going to open the door. So now I want you to imagine that you are a baby on grass. You are crawling around. You're crawling around on grass. And as you crawl around, you're in awe of the beautiful Mother Nature around you. You see the wonderful bees pollinating with the flowers. See the wonderful roses, that beauty, that lovely smell, that rose smell wafting through the air. And as you just crawl around, you're like, wow, I've come to explore planet Earth. And then you see the beautiful trees. Then as you crawl along that freshly cut grass, you decide to lie on your back. And as you lie on your back, you now look up into the sky. And you kick back and you see the wonderful sky up above. Those beautiful clouds, those pillow-esque clouds. And now, as you enjoy this, you sprout some wings. You sprout some wings as though you become a butterfly. And you just start lifting up into the sky. You lift up of Mother Nature, you lift up. And as you lift up off the ground, and you leave Mother Nature beneath you. You lift up into the sky, letting go of all thoughts and feelings. You find yourself becoming an empty vessel of consciousness. Just pure consciousness. Lift up and up and up. And as you lift up, you find that you are connected to all of the wisdom of the universe through time and space, connected to all the wisdom through time and space. Then as you keep rising up and up and up into the space, you are joyously connected to this universe around you. And now you burst into a bright golden star, shimmering across the universe amongst the other stars and the planets. Just in utter ecstasy, looking at the universe around you, feeling how it feels, one with all that is. And now you draw a circle, either physically in front of you, you just in the air, either in your mind or physically, you draw a circle in the air. This circle represents your ego, particularly in business and your life. It represents your ego. And you just draw that circle 3 times to represent your ego. And just energize that circle with the ego. And you don't need to know how, you just do it. And then When you've done that, you're just going to step into the circle. You're going to imagine stepping into the circle. And as you step in, you're going to see a symbol or a sign or something's going to come up instantly. And when it does, it's going to take that and you're going to start writing about it. And you're going to begin with the words, what becomes obvious to me about my ego is the first thing that you got, and just write it down. Just let the pen flow. No thinking, just let it flow. And if you get stuck, ask what else, and just keep letting it flow. Don't dismiss anything, don't ignore it, just write it all down. Keep making it up. Just keep making it up. Keep letting it flow. Keep asking what else.
Done.
Okay, cool. So with experience, and obviously I haven't really taught you how to tap into those realms yet. I mean, I just threw you in the deep end for a second. But with experience in tapping into your nature, you should be able to write for quite a while, right? That will happen. So just for the people at home, I literally threw Mark in the deep end and I didn't give him any training, any instructions. I just gone, just do it. So that's enough. It's cool. I'm going to go on for a few minutes. So give me a moment and I'm going to tap in. So the intention is to tap into Mark's ego, particularly in business, his nature. Choose to be of service to Mark. Choose to be specific. To maintain the sense. Okay. Okay, so what becomes obvious to me about you, Mark, is that when you're in your ego, what I get a sense is that there is a definite fear of being attacked. There is this fear that someone's going to take advantage of you, that someone's going to attack you, that you've got this particular belief, right? And the belief is that you're not safe in the world, and that actually that people take advantage of you, that you need to be cautious. And from this space, what really becomes obvious to me is that you haven't really allowed yourself. You don't tend to open your heart to everyone. Like you're a bit cautious. Like, I don't want to let you in. I don't know what your agenda is, so I need to be careful, right? And that stems from your childhood. It always does, right? For all of us, it's from childhood. But what becomes obvious to me about your ego in business is there's this sense that people aren't who they say they are. That actually there is this perception that people are out to try and they only really care about themselves, and they don't really. So there is this real sense of that you're not. It's almost like your ego says that you're not allowed to express, or that you're learning to express your truth. It's like there's a sense of, if I really speak my truth, if I really speak what I really feel in my gut, then I'm going to get attacked. That I'm not going to be safe. And particularly, there is a fear for your loved ones. There's a real fear for your own family, right? And as I really become specific into this, what I really get a sense of is that you really haven't allowed yourself to show up. It's like you're only allowed to show certain aspects of yourself. Like you're not allowed, there are certain parts of you that are very private, that are very hidden, and those parts can't be shown. It's like you'll get exposed, right? It's almost like there are certain parts of you that if you show them, then they're not going to be accepted. There's a part of you, and what I'm getting is that recently you've really started to open this part of yourself up. But really what I'm getting is it's a case of acceptance. And it's really like you show the parts that are going to be accepted, and then there's this other part of you that is not really going to be accepted. So there's a cautiousness around that, and there's this belief that comes up that I'm not allowed to be seen in this capacity. That it's almost like in business, what I'm really getting is that your ego, the part of you that is conditioned, really says that business needs to be done in this certain way, right? And that it needs to be presented in this certain way, or that's definitely been your past, and you're still learning to go against the grain, shall I say, because ultimately being true to oneself, your ego says that it's not safe because you're going against the grain, you're doing something different, and that's not going to be accepting. And actually what I'm picking up is as I really allow myself to be with your nature, with your egoic conditioning, I get that actually there is this fear that if you really do it your way, then it's not going to be safe. No, sorry, not safe. It's not going to be, what's the word? You're not allowed to do it your way. Like you're not allowed to. And really that is an issue within the business world, actually. People believe that they're not allowed to do it their way, that they have to do it other people's way. And so there is this part of you that is you're knowledge hungry, right? But when it plays out dysfunctionally, the way it plays out is that you are looking for others to show you the way. Like they might know better, or they've got it's to do with knowledge, information, knowledge, and there's this thirst for knowledge, right? But sometimes it's coming from a space of dysfunction, as though you need this information externally, you need knowledge, right? But actually you have it all within you. But your ego says that I need more. Like I need something. And there's this part of you that is looking for the magic elixir. It's like you are looking for something, can never find it. The sense I get is like you've been on the search for something all your life, right? And you've never quite found it. It's always eluded you on some level. And there's a sense of within your ego, there's a sense of like emptiness, right? It's like a sense of like a void, and that needs to be filled. And what I get is that you, on some level, you have an addictive personality. Like you have, like when you get drawn in, you get drawn in. Now there are positives to that, and there's negatives. And the negative of that is you're trying to fill a void. You're trying to fill a void, and that void is an emptiness. And from that, you experience a sense of almost like an existential crisis, like almost like there's like a fear of death, right? A fear of like, but yet that emptiness is the passageway for you to be able to discover your true self, actually, is what I'm getting. But you've got this like resistance. You've got this resistance to discovering you on the other side. You've got this resistance, right? Because there's this sense of self, right? You built up, and that's come out of a state of protection, right? It's come out of a state of surviving. And so your egoic part of you is very invested in making sure that you have an appearance, but that appearance isn't really for other people. You have it for yourself, and you don't really want to lose control. Is what I get is on some level, in your ego, you don't want to lose control, and so there is this controlling nature within you. And as I become really specific, there is a particular fear, and that control comes from that space of I don't know what will happen if I surrender. I don't know. So it harps back to what I said earlier, which is to do with safety, actually, is what I'm really getting. And one of the reasons why you're very much drawn, you personally are drawn to this world of can't think of a good term. It's not conspiracy, but what's truly going on in the world is because your ego projects outwards. So your ego, and it always does for all of us, it projects outwards. And when your ego projects, when this limited sense of self projects outwards, it sees a world that isn't safe. So you get drawn to making the world a safer space. And that's a good thing. Yet when it comes from a space of dysfunction, it means that actually what you need to do is you need to heal, let go of that part of yourself that's unsafe. Because feeling unsafe is not an objective truth in the world. It's a subjective truth that's playing out for you. And so at the root of it, it's about safety for you. It's about becoming safe within your skin, becoming realizing that you're not unsafe. It's just this sense of self that says you're unsafe. And as you become safer within the core part of your being, your expression opens up. And then that will lead me to the second reading, which we're going to go into in a second. I probably could go further. If I allowed myself to, I could probably speak for a long time, but otherwise it gets overwhelming. So I'm just tapping into the initial information that you need. It's almost like you're ready for that information. And I sense you probably know this information on some level, but it's knowing it and implementing it and integrating it are two different things. A lot of people know a lot of stuff. So whenever I do the initial business like readings on people, on their businesses, they go, oh, I know it. Yeah. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. But what I'm asking is now take this awareness and do something with it, right? Because awareness is the first step. You got to now implement it. So that was that. How was that for you?
Very interesting. Very interesting.
What did you get?
There was a lot of what you said that I agree with. There's bits of it that I was questioning. You know, I remember I had an investor in a business once. He was a billionaire, and I used to frustrate the hell out of him because he said that I didn't see risks. I was an Air Force pilot. I didn't see risks. I took risks all the time. Nearly crashed twice. I had 5 kids. I didn't see any risks, you know. But I did start getting fearful when I had children. And I never experienced fear before, but not properly. So yeah, the fear for the loved ones bit was very.
But let me just point something out to you, right? So there is a strategy that plays out for you. For you, the way the strategy plays out, what I'm getting intuitively, right, is we've all got a certain level of not feeling safe. We all have, right? We all have. Like anyone that says they haven't is bullshit, right? But for you, I tell you what you do. I tell you what your strategy is. Your strategy is you overcompensate. So the way there you go. That people at home, that little laughing thing you did, that says true. Yeah. So basically, you overcompensate. So the way you handle a lack of safety is you go, fuck it, smash straight through. Right? That doesn't mean that you feel safe. It's an overcompensating strategy. So we either under.
I think this YouTube channel is an overcompensating strategy because I just like. Fuck it, I don't care. You know, am I going to get killed by somebody for saying the stuff that I'm saying here? I don't care anymore. So yeah, I do that. Yeah. But letting go has been huge for me in the last 2 years, especially, or before that too, but concentrated on the last couple of years, letting go of everything, including my ego, everything, material possessions, family, everything.
And do you know what I get about that, which I'm going to go into in a minute when I do the second reading, is the reason that, intuitively, our customers for tomorrow, our business customers tomorrow, are who we were yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Who we were yesterday. So part of the reason why you're meant to let go is because you're going to help your clients let go of old structures, meaning old egoic patterns, so they can build new structures. And that's part of your calling. And I haven't even gone to the reading, but let's pull through just now.
Yeah. No, I resonate with that 100%.
So let's go into Number two. But let me tell you one thing before we dive into that, right? I'm going to say this with absolute certainty, right? What you get in your reading about yourself, or when I'm reading you, when you're in a state of altered consciousness, I can virtually guarantee you nothing is wrong. I've done thousands of these, and virtually what you'll find is later down the line, you'll go, shit, that resonates. It's because generally speaking, what happens whenever we have resistance, when we're in an altered state, right? We have resistance, number one, because we don't have awareness of it, but suddenly it will become aware. I just want to share that with you. When you get information that comes through in your second reading in a minute, don't judge it, don't dismiss it, trust it, because it is usually fairly accurate or very accurate.
There was one thing you said at the beginning when I was creating the circle up in space when I was a star.
Yeah.
3 times you said think of a symbol.
No, I didn't say think. I said allow a symbol to come to you. Okay, yeah. So it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, so a symbol came to me.
Yeah.
Did we talk about that?
What was the symbol?
It was omega.
Omega. Okay. And what is that? If you were to decipher that now without thinking, what does that mean to you?
It's the last letter of the Greek alphabet.
Okay. So if you were to be trained by me in more detail, right? There's a whole spectrum of training, right? I would show you how and actually you know this because you've spoken to me about this stuff before. You know about symbols, right? Symbols are powerful, right? Symbols are not just so look at that, it's a symbol. No, symbol is a unit of consciousness.
Yeah.
Right? It carries information.
Yeah.
Our job is to decipher that symbol. So if I were to train you how to unpack a symbol, you would find that there is a message that is occurring for you. But what people do, they interrupt it with their egoic thinking and they go, I think that means this. No. There is a way to tap into something without letting your own limited mind get in the way. But that's a whole training.
Okay.
So let's go into number 2.
Do I need more paper?
Yeah. You will need a bit of paper.
Okay, hang on.
You will. I really like that old school. You know.
I am old school.
Yeah, old school, I know that. Granddad, mate.
Not quite.
Okay. Good. All right. So let's go into reading number 2. Okay, cool. So for the viewers at home, what we're going to do now, and for you, Mark, we're going to tap into his nature again, right? I just want to say one thing, that there are 2 aspects of nature. There is a nature that is conditioned from birth, right? And there is a nature that is beyond that conditioning, that small Mark and a big Mark, the small Vinny and a big Vinny, right? That's what I call it, right? The small you and the big you. And so I'm gonna show Mark, and I'll do it as well. I'm gonna show Mark initially how to tap into what I call his business genius, right? And that's gonna give him, you could say, the first reading was about what holds him back, if you want to call it, and the second one is going to be about his strengths, his gifts, his talents, etc., etc. Because generally our ego says we have that much genius, but actually we have a shitload. All right? So I'm going to help you. So let's do this. Okay, so I want you to draw a circle on your piece of paper, and inside the circle I want you to write, we're going to call it business genius, Mark's business genius. I mean, you already know your name, so you could just write business genius.
Done.
Okay, cool. So close your eyes, and I'll take you into an altered state of consciousness. So I want you to set the intention. The focus is on information you want to know about your business genius, your gifts, your talents, etc. Just your business genius. Just set the intention, and when you've done that, just nod your head. Okay, cool. Next, I want you to choose to be of service to your highest self. And now I want you to Choose to be specific with the information so that it serves you. Okay. And now I'm going to take you into an altered state of consciousness. So just imagine that you're a baby, happy baby, crawling along the grass. And you've got this lovely British meadow, the lovely grass, this lovely, fresh, lush grass. And as you crawl along with no care for the world, you look up and you see the wonderful bees pollinating with the flowers. You see those wonderful trees, the oak tree with the acorns on the ground. You see the beautiful flowers, the sunflowers, beaming sunflowers, big sunflowers, yellow and green. And then, as you crawl along the grass with absolute no care, just enjoying the bliss of life, you now look up at the sky. You lie on your back and you see the wonderful blue, bright blue sky. You see the wonderful clouds in the sky, the fluffy, big, dreamy clouds. You're like, wow, Mother Earth, Mother Nature. And now you sprout some wings and you lift up into the sky. And as you lift up, you find yourself just lifting up for Mother Nature, leaving Mother Nature beneath your feet. And as you lift up and up and up into the sky, you become an empty vessel of consciousness, letting go of all thoughts and feelings. And as you rise up and up and up, you wonder, looking at the world around you from up above. And as you climb up, you become connected to all of the wisdom of the universe through time and space. You are connected to all the wisdom that there is to know. As you climb up, you're in the outer space, one with the universe, joyously connected to all that is. Now you find yourself amongst the stars and the planets, looking at planet Earth in the distant space. You now burst into a beautiful, bright golden star. You burst into a magnificent golden conscious star. Now you draw or you imagine a circle 3 times, and the circle represents your genius in business, in your calling. This is your genius. And you just energize the circle with that intention. And whenever you're ready, whenever that circle has that intention, just allow yourself to step in. And as you step in, you see a symbol or a sign, you get something. You literally let the symbol or sign be made up by your imagination. Whatever comes up first, you grab your piece of paper and pen and you decipher it. What becomes obvious to me about my genius is, and you just literally make it up. And the symbol will unpack, you make it up. What becomes obvious to me about my genius is, and literally make it up. And the symbol will unpack. Just keep writing. Keep making it up. Just keep making it up. Let it all come through without thinking. Okay, cool. Brilliant. Okay, so I'm going to do it now. I'm going to tap into your consciousness and I'll see what I get. Give me a second. So for the viewers at home, I'm now going to tap into Mark's nature, right? His true nature, who he is beyond his ego, right? His the big you. Okay, I'm going to tap in. So what becomes obvious to me about your genius, your business gift, talents, is that you have an ability to be able to express ideas that beforehand were not accepted. You have a certain strength in the way that you speak. It's very honest, and that honesty that gets delivered, you're an honest man, right? So being honest allows people to receive information that they wouldn't normally get. And it's not woo-woo. The way you express it, you're a grounded dude, right? So in the way that you express certain ideas, they are expressed in a grounded way. So a large part of your genius is in expression, is in expressing concepts and ideas in a way that they're usable, they are tangible, they're practical, right? And you have a practical disposition, actually, is what I'm getting. And that as part of your business genius is practicality, is that you can take concepts and ideas and you can practically implement them, and people can see results in their own life. And as I go deeper with this, as I become even clearer, what I really see is this part of your genius is to really is your ideas creator. So what it is that when you see an idea, you're an executor. That's what I see. You're an executor because what you do is a part of your gift is in teaching, right? You can teach concepts, and at the heart of who you are is really a teacher, is what I'm getting. You really teach concepts and ideas, and your teaching style allows people to implement ideas. So normally what would happen with people is when they have an idea, they almost don't know how to implement it. Like they could be given that knowledge and that information, they don't know how to implement it. They don't know how to bring about practical change. But in your gift, in your genius, there is this part of you that is able to support others in being able to actually see results. And the word that comes to my mind about your genius is Kickstarter. You are in your essence is a Kickstarter. You're a Kickstarter of a concept and an idea. So for instance, someone might come to you with a concept or an idea, but what they need is they need a bit of they almost need that match, right? They need something to light fire. And so you are the person that can get that ball rolling for them. You can really support them and get the ball rolling. And once the ball is rolling, then it's easier for them. And as I really become specific with your geniuses, there's this part of you that has this innate capacity. You have empathy, right? That's what I'm getting is remember that the business genius is not only about the idea of what we think business is, it's more than that, right? And really in your genius is a level of empathy. And actually a part of your gift is actually sensitivity. You can sense a lot, right? You sense a lot. Like you and recently you've my sense is that you've gone through a level of expansion in your senses, in your ability to receive information. And often it does feel overwhelming, but that's part of your gift, is you are receptive to new information. You are receptive to integrating information that may not necessarily be accepted by other people, but you take that information and you're able to bring it to the world in some kind of concept of idea. So actually with an organization, so what I see as part of your talent is multiple organizations, is multiple companies, multiple organizations. Or really, you're almost like a seed funder or a seed founder, is what I really see. Is being able to take new concepts. And what I feel I'm tapping into is the future for you, is ideas and concepts. People come to you and you're able to invest, you're able to, more than just financial investment, actually is your real gift is, as I said earlier, is to be able to instigate, is to be able to execute, to be able to implement that and to get something off the ground. As I said, you're a practical man. You're able to see, the truth is what I'm really getting is you're not invested. You're not invested in your way. Like you're not, and that's part of why you see the truth, particularly in business and in life. You see the truth because you're not invested in, oh, look, this is the way it needs to be done. And actually you're a bit of a wheeler dealer in the sense I get. And by wheeler dealer, I mean, you are willing to try stuff. You're willing to test stuff and see what really works, right? And then really, as I really tap into your genius on a real deeper level, man, I'm getting this real sense. You're a loving dude, man. You've got a great heart. And and someone might say at home, but that's quite generic. No, it's not. It's everyone's got a good heart, but it's actually the willingness to take that to the world. And what I really see is you have this broadcast ability, and really what gets broadcast is part of your genius is to take your heart to the world and to really share your heart with others. And actually, when we have more people that share their heart with the world, it really it reduces the space for corruption in the world, right? It's like the more heart there is in the world, the less space there is for corruption, for the corrupt consciousness in the world, right? And you have this active ability and this active willingness to really take that to the world. And so, really, if I would right now summarize before I go any further, what I really see as part of your genius is the expression of ideas, the expression of you get an idea, you get a concept, and you get a team around you, you get people to implement it. You are able to, it's like project management of new concepts, project management, and speaking the truth, seeing the truth. When you're in alignment to what is the truth, if there was a tagline that your genius were to have, it would be, I serve the truth. I serve the truth. And that's what you do in business. That's what you do in life. You're only interested in serving the truth. And at times for yourself, it's quite painful because truth starts from within ourselves, right? And for you recently, it's been painful, is my sense. And that's because you've had to face the truth within yourself. And it can be painful. But when you face it within yourself, you can help others, right? Because consciousness flows from the inside out. And so the world is a mirror, right? So that's it for now. How was that for you?
Yeah, that was while you were talking, there was one bit you were going on about being practical, and I just showed everybody that and underlined practical on the other side. Yeah, all of that was true. Yeah, I'm a very fast executor. I was called a machine this morning by somebody. Okay. They were like, "You're a machine. How did you do that?" It's because I just get things done. Yeah. I love teaching. I've said that to people before. That's why I did that course. This course actually is actually free to watch. This was 2,000 quid when I first sold it about 6 years ago. Yeah. It's like that's how old I am. DVDs. But that was the first time I put anything down. That was made in one day with no scripts. And it's 8 hours.
Wow.
And it's I'm still very proud of it. You can watch it on my website for free because it's up there for free. Anybody who wants to know that stuff, most people watching this might not want to know. But the funny thing is, none of that's changed. Even though the software's changed, all the logic is exactly the same. Yeah. Teaching. I love doing the teaching. Kickstarting. That's where I found out with my topskips.com business 17 years ago, which I kickstarted. Yeah. I got it going. It was brand new. The market was brand new. The internet was new. Google was new. Everything was new. And then when it came down to running it, I hated it. Yeah. Absolutely hated it. I was like, "Where's the next idea? Where's the next idea?" This caused loads of arguments. I mean, that's me. And Empathy. Yeah. I spent a long time being told by somebody that I wasn't, but I know that I am. I feel people deeply and I'm extremely sensitive.
Yeah.
Extremely.
Yeah.
When I hurt people, I never mean to do it, and I feel terrible about it.
Yeah.
But I'm extremely sensitive to people's. I see people's auras, and I just see their strengths and weaknesses straight away. So yeah, I get all of that. Seed funder, multiple organisations. Well, since I was a kid, I've been told that I'm a man with fingers in many pies. I've always been like that. Get bored easily.
Yeah.
Well, although I've never been bored. Yeah, and this thing about telling the truth within. I did get involved with a startup a few years, and that was even more frustrating because I just saw hundreds of thousands of pounds get wasted on nonsense, and I just couldn't believe what I was seeing, to be honest. But you know, I got out of that eventually. Yeah, broadcastability. I do like talking. I do like communicating. It's part of me, and serving the truth. It's funny you say that at the end. I serve the truth. I have lied to people in the past. I've lied to myself in the past. I've hated it. It's the worst thing, right? Yeah. I've never done it maliciously. And you know, trying to explore why that happens is something that I'm fascinated by. But in the last 2 years, it's just been about truth. I just desperately want to just live in the vibration of truth.
Yeah.
And I want to live in a world that lives in that vibration as well. And that's why I'm still here.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I nearly wasn't here a couple of years ago, but I'm here, and truth is the key for everything going forward. So yeah, thank you very much for that. That was very interesting.
That's okay. So I'll just share a couple of things before we round up. So the implementation of natural business, right? I just want to share something with people, so that they understand a little bit more, you know, because they've obviously spent time on it. So I want to be able to give them something more. It's really, you know, I think we're moving towards a world where vanilla concepts, just seeking money, people can smell bullshit 1,000 miles away now, okay? And that's why a lot of people now are starting to realize that actually what we're being told is not the truth, right? About a lot of stuff in the world. And so the truth barometer is, you know, is flashing, or whatever you want to call it, it's on, right? So really, if there are people out there, and I want to call out to people, right? If you are finding yourself, first of all, there are two issues, right? This is where natural business works. One is people are often told by experts that thing won't work, right? So when Henry Ford was told
the V8,
huh?
The V8. Oh, was it about the horses?
The horses thing, right?
Yeah, horses,
so he was asked, right? How come you didn't ask the people what they wanted? Because if I would have asked them, then they would have said that wanted faster horses.
Yeah, I use that one.
Yeah, that's cool, right? It's cool, and that's how it is. A lot of people, the experts, they often water down.
Experts,
so-called experts, watered because of their own insecurities. They project their own insecurities on people that have got a vision, right? And they water it down. And what I call it is, there's a true vision, there's a false vision, right? A true vision is when it's true for you. You feel it in every fiber of your freaking being, right? So part of the work that I do is coaxing out of people their true vision, right? Because if it's true for you, if it's in alignment to who you are, man, it's going to be a game changer for you and for the world. And then number two is really when we tap into your true nature, then discovering a strategy to being able to, and I call it true strategy, right? It's true for you. It's your true nature, what comes naturally to you, to put that out in the world. And when you start to, and then there is a particular methodology that I put together for natural business. Step number one, you got to find a true vision, right? A vision that doesn't come from a space of, I need to get away from something. It comes because it's truly in your heart, right? You want to create it for its own sake. Step number two is actually, it's about realizing that your ego is going to come up, because whenever there is change, because when you come up with a true vision, your ego feels insecure, because It's something more than your ego can understand. And that step, second step, we call ego neutralization, letting go of that ego part of you that is screaming, going, oh, I can't do this, self-doubt, insecurities, blah, blah, blah. So we let that go. Step number 3 is to tap into your intuitive self, right? Your strategy, what is true for you. And you need to do it consistently. So a bit like an aircraft, right? An aircraft realizes when it's off course. We've got to continuously bring you back to that creative intelligence, tapping into that creative intelligence. Then step number 4 is to take that intuitive action. Now, a lot of people are taking a lot of action out there, but it's not action, it's doing, right? They're busy doing shit, but actually they're doing it out of insecurity. But truly, when you're taking intuitive actions from the creative self, you'll find what I call it is a cheat code. It's a cheat code. And so literally, doors open where there were no doors. Yeah. And that's the whole journey. That's why I work with the business owners to help them to realize that you are powerful. You've got it in you. You just need to trust yourself. The only difference between Branson and you is...
Oh, don't use him as an example.
Whoever.
No, definitely don't use him.
No? Okay. Who would you like to use?
He's a bad guy.
Who would you like to use?
I don't think there's any good guys left to use. I mean, it's basically me and you.
All right. If you're like Mark, then. If you're like Mark,
maybe not.
If you're like Mark, you can learn to trust yourself. You can learn to, we've been taught, we can't trust ourselves. We're insecure. We, sorry to swear, but we've been fucked with because we get told we have this potential, right? And then simultaneously, we also get told we don't have the capacity to know how to make it come to fruition.
Never, innit?
So you get, here you go.
The old world, yeah.
Here's the candy, but guess what? You can't have it.
Can't have it.
You can't have it, right?
Exactly.
And I'm here to tell every single business owner here, right? And I'm sure...
Or anybody that wants to go into business and has always been too afraid to do it.
Yeah. Stop looking outside of yourself and you got this information. And I'm willing to, Mark, shall I share where they can go? So
we can put the link underneath the video.
It's obviously you'll put the link in. It's naturalbusiness.co.uk. So naturalbusiness.co.uk. And there'll be a contact us box on there. So you can always get in touch. And the way that I built my business and the way that I run my life is by being of service to people, by actually giving a shit about human beings. So if you genuinely are out there and you want to grow your business and you want to tap into your creative self so that you can stop giving your power away, only get in touch with Mark if Mark and you both feel that's it's gonna benefit both of you. And that's what you were talking about earlier, Mark, right? Like you're like, is this really gonna work? Is this in alignment for both of us? And the issue is too many people take the money, but they know that either the person isn't the right fit or they know they can't help them, but they still take the money and that doesn't work. But it's time to become ethical. So naturalbusiness.co.uk. And for the viewers out there, you can drop me a message. And if we're in a sense of alignment, I am happy to jump on a call with you and not to try and sell you shit, to actually serve you and see what it feels like to be a friggin' human being.
Yeah, I mean, it brings up loads of other things, but I'm running out of time. Everything you're talking about there, everything you're saying is in complete alignment with all the changes that are happening in the world right now. Everything's about, all the answers are inside. We all have this genius, this heaven is really in us.
Within us, yeah, correct.
And so yeah, I resonate with all of that. And anybody that's watching this that is in business, that is, I mean, I know this was only a short version, and I'll probably tap you for a longer version soon.
Yeah.
But it is good to hear things. It's good to hear things like you've got an addictive personality. I know that. Thanks, Vineet. I'm trying to fill a void. Yeah. Thanks for that. So I've got to go and sit and look at these and face your truth, because I've faced a lot of these truths, but you're never 100% the way there. So it's a very, very important thing to do, and to not be offended as well. I mean, I can take, and I was expecting much worse from you actually, in terms of how I'd feel about it.
If you would have given me another half an hour,
I'm glad to stop what you did. but everything is about looking inside, facing up to your shit, owning it, right? You know, this channel is really about owning your shit and discovering new ideas and being open-minded, not being offended ever by anything, looking for the truth always, and then understanding who you are, and then just making sure, just tapping in and making sure, well, you know, is what I'm doing right now aligned with who I am?
Yeah.
You know,
and we can all feel it, right? We can all sense it within ourselves.
Precisely. And this is where we're at now. Oh my God. I mean, if I'd come to something like this 10 years ago, I'd have had a very different reaction.
Yeah.
In fact, what I'd have done 10 years ago is intellectually react to this. Yeah. I'd have gone, yeah. He's very good. He's very good. Very interesting. Now, right. How are we making money now? I'd be like that. So really, really interesting. Really good. And great to see you doing this kind of work.
Yeah. And trust me, my clients make dollar. They make money, but they do it ethically, and they do it so that the money doesn't come at an expense of their own being.
Absolutely. And that is a great place to end it on. Thank you, Vineet.
So there you go, Mark. Thank you for everyone watching. Just go to naturalbusiness.uk, and yeah, I'm happy to serve. And there's lots of content coming on there as well soon. So and there's also programs that I have. So it's all good. Thank you, Mark, for hosting me. I appreciate you very much.
Sorry, man, I interrupted you.
Go for it. Go.
I was just saying, if you contact Vineet, just let him know you saw him on here, because I'd be interested to know how you get on with some of these people.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic.
Because those future stories are also the kind of stories I want to tell.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right. Cheers, good. Mark. Thank you.
Have a fabulous day. I'll see you later, mate.
You too, mate. Take care. Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.